The weeks-long clashes at the India-China border turned fatal on Monday when over 20 Indian soldiers were killed. The Chinese side also suffered casualties and concerns of escalation linger.
At least 20 Indian soldiers have died from a violent face-off with Chinese troops on Monday night. The two sides clashes with iron rods and stones at their disputed border in the western Himalayas. Indian military officials say 3 soldiers were killed during the clashes, while 17 more were critically injured and due to the sub-zero temperatures in the high-altitude terrain, died of the injuries on Tuesday. Chinese state media Global Times editor-in-chief tweeted that the Chinese side also suffered casualties, but authorities did not disclose the exact number. Indian media reported that China suffered 43 casualties, including death and serious injuries. This is the first time in decades since clashes at the two countries' border has led to casualties. Although border patrol soldiers often engage in fistfights and stone throwing, the two nuclear-armed neighbors had agreed not to open fire, so fatal clashes had been rare. On Tuesday, Indian authorities accused the Chinese soldiers of operating in an area under Indian control and say the clash is a result of an attempt by the Chinese side to unilaterally change the status quo there, while a Chinese commander and military spokesman blamed India, saying it proactively attacked an area under China's control. He asked India not to stir up trouble and move in the same direction as China. An Indian expert is concerned the clashes could escalate.
This time what I see is a more aggressive posture by the Chinese, which looks like a deliberate policy to create confusion between India, or rather deteriorate the relationship between India and China at the highest level. That is the feeling I get.
Small clashes have been happening since May. Indian and Chinese army generals have been in talks aiming to de-escalate. Border disputes between the two have continued since 1962, when China attacked India at the desolate and hardly inhabited border covered in rock and ice. Experts say then Chinese Communist leader Mao Zedong started the war to counter an internal power struggle within the party and re-establish his authority. While the situation differs for today's Xi Jinping, who is already in total control of the Chinese army. The latest major clash was in 2017, when both India and China ramped up military deployments at the border for 2 months. Both countries are currently suffering from the virus pandemic. Beijing is now bracing for a potential second wave with an already struggling national economy. Penny Zhou, NTD News.